So, Tom, would you care to explain some of the mechanics of the Master Sword in this game? Because it's a bit unique for a weapon.
Oh, hang on. Some lad is talking to me here.
Oh, well.
Some lad.
Yes, that is me.
Please leave a message.
For God's sake, I just got the goddamn sword. I'm not ready for the goddamn trial yet.
You have bought the DLC. Please, you've paid for this. You better come.
Why didn't the Great Deku Tree give me some words while I was there?
I know! It's just like you had to wait for us to leave before you could tell us this, you bloody lazy bugger.
Well, wait. So, like, even if it's all in that blue text, it can be from multiple people, because that blue text has not been the Deku Tree before.
Oh, that is true. It has consistently not been Zelda.
Oh, spammers.
I know, it's so shameful of me, but like it's so bloody obvious, and also...
In the middle of Tom's Let's Play.
Hey, it's Scrungus!
Scrungus away!
So, like I was saying, Tom, would you like to explain some of the stuff about the Master Sword? Because it is a unique weapon.
It is a sword, and when it glows, it does more damage. Basically, when it breaks, quote-unquote, it does less damage, and I'm pretty sure you can't use it for a while.
It runs on the same sort of timer as your powers there, so after a certain amount of time has passed, Fi is like, nah, I'm good, I'm awake, and then you can use it again, which is pretty cool.
And then, if you have the sword and let it out, it glows, but don't put the ring on, because then the ring rapes will get you. It's not my fault if Zelda leans even harder into Lord of the Rings every single time. Like, it's cool to be friends, but just watch it sometimes. Don't come home with their lipstick on.
God damn it, Scrungus. I want you to go in a straight line, for God's sake.
Oh shit, I remember the intro to Twilight Princess. Gorgeous, just masterpiece art, they say.
I mean, it's a very good game introduction, that one.
Which game's intro would you say is your guys' favorite? Because Ocarina of Time is iconic. It has the Super Mario Bros. 3 whistle, but Twilight Princess has Twilight Princess. Because I have my own twist hat to throw into this ring as well.
Alright, motherfucker. You knocked me off Scrungus, now you can die.
Fuck them up, Tom. Fuck them up.
I'd have to rewatch them all, but from what my brain is telling me right now, it would be Twilight Princess has my favourite opening scene. I think just because it has sort of the grander version of the Zelda theme, and I just remember it just being like, oh, that's really cool. But then I know that sort of my approach to what my favourite Zelda game is / can be is a bit more variable. I mean, it is now Breath of the Wild, but before that...
His favorite is just, Link, wake up. Wake up. Alright.
But I mean, obviously I would have had to have said that it was Skyward Sword for a while, because that was the first Zelda game that I ever played, so obviously I have a bit more of an emotional connection to Skyward Sword than I think a lot of other Zelda fans, because most people came to it after all the other Zelda titles, whereas that was the first one that I came to.
Hold on to that. It's valuable. We gonna need that.
Scrungus, for the love of Christ, what is wrong with you?
He's having a rough day. For me, in general, and this might be a hot take, I believe that Twilight Princess is just, in general, a better Ocarina of Time.
Alright.
And as such, I believe that the opening is equally the better one. However, and I think I know where you're going with this, functionally, the coolest is Skyward Swords, because, do you know why, Mexi?
I mean, are we going for back in time?
I was going to say the fact that the best speedruns of Skyward Sword use the opening movie as a way to speedrun the game.
It's back in time glitch. It's kind of one of those things.
Oh, that's what it's called? I didn't know that.
You're all good. No, but no. To me, I think that back in time glitch is super fascinating. Outside of the whole speedrunning capacity, I love it as just the hard piece of evidence that shows that basically Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Swords all run on the same game engine. So for a while there, when I wanted to be edgy the hedgy, I would always tell people that FIFA games per game have a more varied engine than Zelda games. And it was because they literally remake the FIFA engine every fucking time, and they throw hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so. Zelda games have been using the same engine for a while there since Wind Waker because they all have access. Basically, the biggest piece of evidence of that is that back in time glitch exists in which through glitches galore in all of those games, you're able to take control of the Link in the title sequence. That the title sequence is basically a save file that has equipment, that has everything assigned to it, and then through glitching shenanigans, you are able to basically take control of intro sequence Link and whatever he had access to, and in some cases, save over a save file to just take all that with you.
That's amazing.
Right, it's one of like to me, I love that aspect of Zelda. That and just bomb mechanics. When I first learned, I mean, you see just how crazy that there are useful wise, but just how they done work, son, is some of the best stuff.
Scrungus. Fucking horse just does not work. I swear to God.
Tom, did you break the horse?
I think I might have broken the horse actually.
Honestly, I'd say the horse broke Tom. But I actually wasn't gonna go all like sneak answer there on the Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword's intro is pretty good, but I was gonna go pretty weird with mine. Is that I would go with A Link to the Past's intro, like its whole pre-file select sequence. It's gonna give you all the backstory of the Sealing Wars, the multi-sages, what the fuck's going on with Aghanim, like all of that. Like all of that's is before you select a file. So not the best place to put all that lore, but I mean, that's where it's all is, and it really sets the stage for A Link to the Past really, really well. This is always my weird technicality, and y'all can feel free to like come at me for this, but whenever I talk about the Oracle games, I talk about them as two pieces of the whole. They are the one game. So I would be the combo of, you see the intro of Oracle of Seasons, in which Link is riding in the midday, and Oracle of Ages is opening, in which the sun is setting, so it's more in the evening time. I love just the whole I mean, they're meant to seem as parallel, but, you know, timeline shenanigans, they could even be time loops. They could even be happening at the same time. It doesn't really matter. But just that whole two intros that are the same, but a little bit different, that lead into the combo Oracle game. Love it. That's Capcom, just, they delivered on those games. I will always gush about the Oracle games. But 3D-wise, Twilight Princess is pretty solid. It's just, it's way too hard and solid, because even the best Zelda, Majora's Mask, it's pre-cutscene dealio. Like, its opening sequence isn't too in-depth. It's very much in line with the game. It's obscure, it's obtuse, it's more about the emotions you feel from it than what's actually shown on the screen. And I mean, you feel ooky spooky. You feel that the happy mask salesman is not someone to be trusted. You know that Skull Kid is up to some really bad shit, and you get all that without even knowing what the fuck is going on. So, I mean, all of those intro sequences are fucking good.
Passing of the Gates is what I believe this one's called.
Ah, it is indeed.
Excellent. So we need to pass some gates. I mean, it makes sense.
Cryonis, perhaps?
There's something on the right-hand side.
It's this one.
Oh, it's a flippy switch. Uh-oh.
Kind of like an intense version of Winona's gym from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
No, we're not going there. We are not doing this.
Tom, you will want to just pop back to the first room a second.
Uh-huh.
And just go to your right, because you should be able to get across. Go back, other side. Left of the...
Jesus Christ, Richie.
You should be able to walk along that now, because you need to open a chest.
Okay, you don't need to walk me step by step through this thing, mate.
That's fine. It's just that it's got a key in it, and you're probably going to need that key.
Fair enough. For a little bit of trickery-pokery, I could perhaps send this ball flying.
Just charge it up with as much momentum as you possibly can. I mean, you bounce all over the room, but good journey, I guess.
I like how we got the Sword of Evil's Bane, the most powerful weapon against the dark arts, and we're using it to play gosh dang ping pong.
Alas. Alright, so... where is the mechanism by which I change it back?
It's on the side, probably somewhere, but I think you do want to bring the ancient orb back towards the entrance.
Okie dokie.
Thankfully, being a large round object, you can just pick it up with your hands, which is quite nice.
Righto. What is this? 'Tis an arrow.
You never know, that one arrow may save the day for you.
Yeah, there's a final boss and like reincarnated evil to smite, but knowing that I can go over there and pick up those 3 arrows that I fired and missed so that I can have them back, that's where my brain's getting all its serotonin from this week.
Rifling them out of the corpses of enemies.
These are mine!
And I definitely can't chuck this over. Nope.
Although I think you can toss it somewhere now. Into a little basket.
To a little basket, he says.
Oh, into the basket at the front.
Oh yeah, on the front side there.
It's metallic.
Hey.
It's like that one sport, golf. So I don't care how charming or RPG-y your golf RPG may ever be. The fact that it involves golf just is always so off-putting to me. I'm not good at it in real life. I don't want to really play it in a video game, unfortunately.
You know, I can enjoy a good golf minigame. I played through, or am playing through, or no, I beat Yakuza 3, and that one has a fun little golf minigame.
I don't know. So, okay, I was traumatized as a kid by, I think it was the 102 Dalmatian game on the PlayStation.
Wow, okay.
Worst mini-golf minigame ever. Scarred me. Terrified me. Can never golf again for the rest of my life.
Booyah.
I love those bullet time puzzles where you gotta like switch the ground beneath you.
Well, the interesting thing about that bullet time is that it actually, there's some fun glitch stuff you can do. If you use the bullet time while using Cryonis, and there's an enemy or something that is being pushed up, notably like a guardian, and you go into that bullet time, their acceleration is cranked up, so you can use that to launch them across the map.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, I've seen that glitch on Twitter a number of times, and it's so funny because these giant metal objects are just being thrown with more force than anything in the world.
Well, it's also effectively how you speedrun Breath of the Wild anyway, because you use that sort of same technique to launch yourself off into the distance, and it's ridiculous and amazing, and I kind of love it.
There's always gonna be some way speedrunners are gonna mess with your physics. It's it's not quite Murphy's Law, but it's one of those, just laws. It's like you put physics in your game, speedrunner's gonna find the way to break it.
Let's call it Spike Vegeta's laws.
Spike Vegeta's Law. Yup.
I mean, you could also just call it the speedrunner's law. I know that's maybe a little bit boring to call it, but still.
I think technically speedrunner's law is that there will always be a debate whether speedrun is 1 or 2 words.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That one's actually one of the darker, deeper, like that one I've actually seen human beings like react to, like people who are genuinely like meme lords, like just in it for a joke, and they'll be like, it's like serious for like 2 seconds in their life about whether the word is speedrun 1 word or 2 words. Like, all right, that's quite an interesting observation. I'm marking that in the future.
According to my phone, it's 2. According to my heart, it's 1.
I mean, according to the internet, and specifically, well, speedrun.com, but also Wikipedia, it is indeed 1 word.
Yeah, speedrun.com. They're not having a good look on them lately, so we'll be moving on from there.
Wikipedia says it, and also Reddit.
Well, I mean, Reddit with all of its newfound power to tear down the economy. I mean, I'm willing to go along with any of their demands. Did you guys already rank like Breath of the Wild Wizrobes to other Wizrobes yet? Because design-wise, I mean, once you've made Toucan Sam Wizrobe, everything else is competing for second place in my eye, unfortunately. So, but these are still pretty cool, especially when you look in the accompanying text about the actual inside of what the Wizrobes look like under their cloaks, and just how much their skeletons just make no sense.
There's a shrine around here.
Probably like, in the cliff.
Darkaso Shrine.
Yeah, it looks like a little nook in here.
Ah, there it is.
Hey, you found it.
Yeah, these are the ones that are they're pretty easy to spot. It's sort of what gave me the impression that staying close to the plateau was intended to be like not so much like the easy route, but just like even like the hand-holdy, like still trying to figure out how to play the video game type route, is that you would just keep close to the Great Plateau, and it just kind of drops you off at a lot of these shrines where the real challenge is just, oh, I gotta swim across to it, or just gotta walk right up to it. Versus, you know, the later ones. I do like how the shrines have distinct difficulties to them, that there are difficult shrines, that they didn't take the whole like multi-path game design and just make all the paths of equal difficulty. Like the shrines still are fantastic in that aspect, and I see that we're strong enough and we're badass enough to start taking on tests of strength. I remember we had to back out of a few.
We did one of them.
Yeah, although I think most of them were major tests of strength, which... I mean, technically we could probably do it now that we've got the Master Sword, but we might want to wait a little bit longer until, you know, we've officially got more hearts than we know what to do with. Just to, you know, keep on the safer side, because those major tests of strength can be pretty major.
It's in the title.
Nice.
Way to go, Tom.
Thank you.
The way you had used the arrows midway there to kind of approach the Guardian, I started to use Stasis for that purpose, just kind of as my means of approaching them. And that was sort of when like my eyes had opened to actually how useful the ability was, because I was just using it for puzzles, for like when the game hyper specifically required it. And then it wasn't until like it clicked in combat as a means of approaching the Guardians, I'm like, oh, Stasis is broken, my dear. Like this is a whole new game.
Nice. Go for more, I can start upgrading a little bit more of my stamina.
Well, funnily enough, there are 2 shrines effectively on the path that we're on right now.
Good, good.
There's the Geno Shrine and the Julana Shrine.
Soon William Shatner's gonna have to watch himself, and we'll be climbing that mountain.
Indeed. Indeed.
I'm laughing even though I don't get the reference, but I don't want to be left out.
You've never heard the oh, so there's like this old song, like I guess William Shatner tried to do, like, why is he climbing the mountain? He's gonna climb the mountain. It's like we're talking "You're the Man Now, Dog" like era of internet where it's only a meme because it was some funny audio that existed.
Never heard of this. Tom, you want the bandana? Yeah, there you go.
Yay, I climb with the fast.
Mario may have been Jumpman, but Link is now Climb Man.
Hell yeah. Speaking of Mario, I got my first win in Super Mario 35 today, and then I did it again soon after.
Bravo!
Get them dubs.
Good job, man.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you.
Out of all the video games I've tried to get my boyfriend into, I think I legitimately got him, like, hooked. Because I haven't seen him actually hooked on a video game. He got hooked on Mario 35, and it was amazing to watch. Because he was legitimately good. Because he was actually stomping people. Like, holy shit, I've discovered a beast, and it's fantastic. So, like, I love the whole battle royale of 8-bit game concept. Like, I don't know how they could hardcore do it with Zelda. I'm sure there's like online versions of it. But no, the second there's an official Zelda one, I'll be sure to be taking you punks down. Because I know none of y'all know the first three dungeons of Zelda 3 or Zelda 1 like I do.
Yeah, no. I had to use restore points to make my way through Zelda 1, so I'll just let you be the major Zelda expert, Max, because, yeah, whoo, no.
It's okay. I'm needing to use my 3DS's save functions for Zelda 2, so it's okay.
Had to do it for Zelda 2 as well, because Zelda 2 is hard.
But I feel like they also, like, they wanted it to be that hard, so it's like, alright, I see what you wanted me to do. Because it's also with that combat, like, they really were looking into making it very swordplay, like, very parry and block, very distance and timing based. It's just, does not really translate when you were trying to do that with a 4-way direction D-pad and 2 buttons.
Yeah, it definitely not. But all I can say is, yeah, thank God that we do have restore points now, because it makes those sorts of things so much more bearable.
There was a big debate about if you're playing the game correctly by using those, but to that I say, I don't care, Mike Matei. Let me enjoy my time.
I mean, it's a very simple concept of just let other people just do their thing, bro. Like, it's an art form. It's like the people who watch movies out of a certain order, people that, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the thing exists, you had your experience, just let the other person have theirs. Like,
oh yeah. I think that's pretty much why whenever the whole should Dark Souls have an easy mode debate comes up, I look at it and just go, well, yeah, as long as, you know, they make it so that it hits the right balance of ensuring that you get the experience that they want you to get from the game, but still make it so that, you know, anybody can actually beat it. Because if you've paid money to get the game, it's always a little bit galling if the reason that you can't kind of get your money's worth is because it's just too challenging.
The big thing I feel about the modern difficulty / parentheses 3 air quotes accessibility discussion in video game is that even the experts, even the people making the games, even the people who are putting all of the effort, all of the work, all of the studying into creating inclusive, creating difficult experiences in video games, all of them have acknowledged that there's no one answer, there's no one solution for creating either that all-inclusive, that all-encompassing, or that all-specific difficult experience in video games. Even the experts say that there's no correct answer in this. This is something that just each individual game has to acknowledge within its development. Certain games have gone certain paths, but it's going to come down to each individual game on how it wanted to be designed, how did it want to be consumed, and in what sort of compromises are they willing to give to that experience with that? And I mean, you have things like Celeste, where like it has actual like it gives you a notice. The game communicates to you when engaging with different difficulties. It doesn't knock it down, it doesn't demean it, but it does communicate to you that during development there was an intention, and that you are free to either meet that intention or just enjoy the game that they created because they want you to enjoy it. So, but there's no right answer. That's the biggest takeaway from even the people that are like knee deep in this discussion about keeping games accessible or whether games should be designed with a certain difficulty in mind, is that there is no one right answer.
Oh, exactly. And I think that's why, as long as people try and develop choice into the matter, and you give as much choice as is possible for what you're wanting to use, you generally can't go far wrong.
And it's like, and not every way of developing a game has these types of difficulties. Sometimes just developing a game like Breath of the Wild around emergent gameplay tends to smooth out the edges of difficulty as well, because, you know, if something's too difficult, well, then maybe it was something that I need to get some more upgrades for, maybe I need to be fighting and getting some more equipment for. Like, you can build yourself up to that. Versus, you know, when games were structured in a very level 1-1, 1-2 format, you know, if level 2-3 was just for some reason at a difficulty 11, where the rest of the game was at a difficulty like 6 out of 10, then, you know, then there's maybe some thought in just the how the game was designed, and maybe retooling of that. But again, I see it as it's very much a game-to-game basis. There's no answer. We're like, all games need to have easy. Like, there's no. You use the all word, and right there, you're already misplaced in that assertion that all games.
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
It's sort of like with whenever people talk about animation, and they talk about it as almost like it's a genre. It's like you can't really paint broad strokes for animation because it's such a wide variety of things. Just like with games, where like it's hard to talk about games as an entire thing because they're all so different.
It's a medium.
It's a medium, absolutely.
It's sort of the thing where it's like it becomes like science or metal music, that from the outside it's all one thing. It's all science, it's all metal, but as soon as you dip your toes in this, as soon as you find a passion within it, you start to see the infinite categories that it breaks up into, that it's fractalized into, that you're like, oh no, good sir, this is not just a video game, this is a role-playing, time-based, cross-sims, gacha, RPG experience. Like, you fall into that hole, but you still just got to have that perspective that it's a broad medium. Like, it's not even a genre anymore. Like, this is a way that, and that's where it's always fun to always play just those indie one-person made games where, like, I love games that interact with games as that medium of games. Like, not just, oh, it broke the fourth wall, but like this. When games perform or have you perform something that could only be performed by being an interactive medium, whether that be for positive experiences like, woo, I saved the princess, or whether negative experiences like, oh no, I'm a doctor who has to save a dying town from the plague and nothing I do works out. Like, you get these varied experiences because you're interacting with it, as opposed to, haha, character on screen made wrong decision. This is now your video games give you that opportunity to step up. It's like, all right then, how would you save the princess? How are you gonna save the world? Do those things. So, I mean, I love video games on that medium level that we get to enjoy in this time of human history, an interactive form of storytelling, and we can like have all these great options and have all these great experiences because we have this medium.
So, one thing I'll say about this shrine here, now Tom didn't need it because he did the first couple there, but what you can use is if you're having trouble sort of aiming the ball, you can stasis it on the platform and then take your time to aim nice and slowly with a bow and arrow to get it there. But he did a beautiful spin shot in the first one, and he got the second one there, so hey, good job, boyo.
Physics, bro!
Now it's just a case of running and getting past all these bloody lasers.
Bloody lasers.
Can't now see conveyor belts in Zelda games without thinking of Skyward Sword.
But why?
It's not my fault they threw a whole bunch into those early dungeons and into all the promotional videos and stuff.
Aha.
Link decides to just turn into Shadow the Hedgehog and just time stop everything to solve all his problems.
Success!
Not bad.
And then you accidentally throw it off because you're too excited to put it in the hole. That's what happened to me.
Oh, story of an age.
Tanner, I'd really appreciate it if you wouldn't spoil people about how my private game streams go, alright? I'd really appreciate you wouldn't tell everyone about all the times I've died in this.
The premium content.
It's not stuck behind a paywall, it's actually stuck behind a soul wall. I'm gonna need your immortal soul first, in contract, in blood.
Man, I already gave that up when I started doing Let's Plays, right?
Feel like we all went down that path.
Richie sings like he still has a soul, but I see the darkness behind his eyes.
Oh no, that was something that just died a very, very long time ago.